Hello and welcome to the Beckoning Bookshelf. I'm your host, Jeffrey Ashcraft. On to Wingfeather Book 3, The Monster in the Hollows. You know the drill by now. This book was written by Andrew Peterson and originally published in 2011. It was later published, again, like its predecessors, in 2020 with updated covers, updated illustrations, all that. So what's Book 3 about? Well, the Wingfeathers have escaped the Grey Fangs in the north and are now headed to the Green Hollows, Nia's homeland, Nia being the mother. They hope to find some peace there, some safety. Except there's a new problem. Kalmar is different. Kalmar now looks like a Fang. How will the people of the Green Hollows handle his new appearance? Are they going to accept him, or are they going to fight him? The people of the Green Hollows have been at war with the Fangs for many years. And there are other new threats for the Wingfeathers to face in the Green Hollows. So they're not going to find peace and rest just yet. Book 3 has so far been my favorite. And I think there's two reasons for that. First is there's a clear overarching threat throughout that can help keep the reader engaged, and it takes place in one location. And the previous two books were missing at least one of those. Book 1 was missing the clear overarching threat throughout. Yes, the Fangs were there, but how exactly were they a threat to the Igby family? And in Book 2, we have the clear overarching threat, but they're on the run. And so we're not getting to see them in like everyday situations or just running from one location to another. We don't get to have familiarity with a location like we did in Book 1. So in Book 3, we have both of those things. There's a clear overarching threat and a very interesting one, a very engaging one. And we're in one location again. So we get to see the Igby children in familiar locations, get to see what they're like throughout, and we get to see them do regular things like go to school, which I did enjoy how the school in the Green Hollows was imagined and what they prioritize and how they prioritize their education, what they think is important. I thought that was kind of fun. There are some good mysteries as well in this one, though one mystery, it's kind of repetitive from the last book. It's basically the same mystery, but with a different source. And you're thinking, okay, guys, you thought this with the last mystery in Book 2. You're going to be wrong again. Like, hello? Did you not learn anything from the last one? Another mystery / twist kind of came out of nowhere for me near the end of the book. This twist happened, and I was thinking, what? Really? Him? Well, after I was thinking about it, after having finished reading the book and thinking about it, I realized that there were actually hints that there was something up to this twist, regarding this twist, earlier in the book, and I just forgot about him. So, yeah, it wasn't as out of the blue as I thought it was. Now, there were two things, particularly with this book, that really annoyed me. One of them is a couple of things that Nia does regarding the children, especially Janner. Nia makes some really weird decisions here. Well, she approaches these decisions in very weird ways. Ways that I thought she would know better than to do that. So, I'll try to be as generic as possible to not provide a whole lot of spoilers, but in one of these instances, well, let me explain some background first. It's kind of felt like in books 1 and 2 that Janner gets sidelined for Kalmar and Lily. Kind of like that Kalmar and Lily are Nia's favorites, and Janner, he just has to do a lot of the extra work. Now, is that true? No. Nia loves all three of her kids the same. And she just gives more responsibility to Janner, who is the eldest, which I'm not against. I'm just saying that every now and again it appears as though she does favor Kalmar and Lily over Janner. This happens in this book in a rather extreme way. So, when they're going to school, they have the opportunity to basically pick an elective, to choose something that they want to specialize in. Well, Janner already has something he's interested in, and it's a worthwhile activity. It makes a lot of sense and something that he should do. It's good for him to do. Kalmar, on the other hand, doesn't want to do any of them, except for this extremely dangerous one. To which Nia says, okay, you can do that, Kalmar, as long as Janner chooses it with you. So essentially, she tells Janner, you have to give up what you like in order to protect your brother. And she doesn't explain it to him at all, like why it's good for him to do this. She basically just says, oh, you have to do it because you're the throne warden, and that's it. And while I'm not against Nia's decision, I don't like how she approached it, because like I said, she doesn't explain it at all. It just kind of feels like she's just throwing Janner to the side, just being like, hey, your interests aren't important. You're the throne warden. His interests are more important than yours. That's kind of her approach. And then after Janner gets literally beaten up for doing what his mother asked, like he literally gets beaten up for it, all he gets is a hug, some food, and a "you're so brave" from his mother. I mean, she threw him to the wolves, almost literally. So I just did not like her approach there, particularly because, it seems to favor Kalmar over Janner. She doesn't explain her decision at all. And to a 12-year-old boy, this can be a big event. A 12-year-old boy can seem wronged. He can seem like the whole thing was unjustified. And further, this threatens Kalmar's safety. Because Janner, he is the throne warden. He is Kalmar's bodyguard, essentially. And all it can take for a bodyguard to fail his job is one moment of hesitation. That's all it can take. So, say Kalmar is in danger in some later point in the story, and Janner, just for a moment, just for a second, thinks, wait a minute, I had to give up my interest, my thing, so that I could protect Kalmar. If Kalmar wasn't here, I could be doing my own thing. He could think that just for a second, and no one would blame him to think it just for a second. But that 1 second could mean Kalmar's demise. It could mean that Janner fails in protecting him. And Nia practically sets this up without taking just a brief moment to explain, hey, this is why you should be doing this. Your interests are important, but, given the circumstances, this is more important. But she doesn't take the time to do that. She just tells Janner, hey, okay, go do it. And I did not like that approach. I just was really, really mad at Nia. Like, she knows better. The other thing that really annoyed me in this book is the ending. How the ending is structured. Let me put it that way. So there's 2 stories taking place in this book. So this is the first one where we actually have 2 stories happening at once. We have the Wingfeathers and also Sarah Cobbler. We now get stories from her perspective, which was cool. I enjoyed that. And throughout most of the book, they're spaced very well. Well, near the end, when the climax is occurring, when everything is hitting the height of intensity, and you're just like, oh, I'm so excited to get to the next part, each chapter jumps to the other story. So it literally jumps from story to story. So you finish one chapter, and you're into the story. You want to know what happens next. It's a cliffhanger. Next page, up the other story. We're now going to read about Sarah Cobbler. It's like, oh, come on. I want to know what happens to the Wingfeathers. And then you read that story just long enough to get interested in Sarah Cobbler's story again, and then you're back with the Wingfeathers. I really did not like that structure. Did not like it at all. If I was a kid and I could only like read like one chapter a day or a night just before bed, I would be infuriated that it jumped from story to story. I would not like it. So I did not like the spacing of the two stories at the end. I'll talk about one more thing that I did like, and I'm really enjoying Kalmar's story now. I like the direction it's going. It is very interesting, very engaging, and it kind of reminds me of Eustace from the Chronicles of Narnia. And yeah, how Eustace was really annoying in the beginning and then he became better? Well, that's kind of what Kalmar is. Not that he was really annoying. Well, book 2, he made some really, really stupid decisions that you're thinking, come on, man, you know better than this? Yeah. But his story is becoming better and his character is becoming more interesting, in my opinion. So I did enjoy that. There's one other thing I'll talk about with the book, and that's referring to the TV show. If you remember when I was talking about the first book, I mentioned the TV show for the Wingfeather Saga by Angel Studios. Well, season 1 has a spectacular cover song. It is great. Cover song? Title song? Title song. I'll go with title song. Theme song. I don't know. I don't know what song. It's a song associated with season 1. It's titled My Love Has Gone Across the Sea, and it is sung by Jodie Benson of Ariel fame. You know, Little Mermaid. Great song. Love it. Fantastic. And it's one of the reasons why I was interested in watching the show in the first place. I listened to the music first, and then heard that song and was like, all right, I want to see the show because that's a great song. Well, the lyrics to that song are in this book. So I thought that was kind of cool, and it's also really, it's a kind of a really sad moment. So now the song is even more tragic than before. Yay. I don't know if it was in book 1 because I didn't read, I didn't watch the show when I was reading book 1, so I didn't know the song. Well, now I know it, and I saw the song in here, so I don't know if this is when it first shows up or not. But I thought it was cool that I noticed it. So it's a great song. Absolutely love it. And that's all I have. I'm almost done the Wingfeather Saga. Almost finished. I'm about halfway through book 4. So, still enjoying it. And have you made it this far? Have you read book 3 of the Wingfeather Saga? And what did you think, particularly of the monster in the hollows? And I suppose avoid spoilers, or just warn people of spoilers if you're going to post spoilers. Also, I should mention, like, if you've answered the questions that I ask about these books, like in the previous videos, cool. Awesome, thanks for that, because I kind of asked the same questions, apart from just, have you read book 3? It's like, what do you think of the series? Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you always for being here. You are amazing. Now go find yourself a good book.